So if you're watching this video, you're probably one of three people. One, you actually are trying to get more into clothing and fashion and start paying attention more to how you dress. Two, you're already into fashion and just like watching content online, and maybe you're gonna learn something new today. Three, you're one of my friends and family that watches my video, and if that's the case, shout outs to you and thanks so much for watching. What is up, everybody? I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. My name is Austin, and this is gonna be 5 easy ways for you to start dressing better. This one's gonna be a little bit of a yap session, so I hope you guys like it, and let's go ahead and get into the first tip. All right, so my first tip is something that I tell everyone who tells me they want to start dressing better, is to identify the people that they want to dress like. I tell them to start with this because starting off can be very hard, and out in the world there are probably thousands of styles, and even within each of those styles, each person has their own individual way of putting it all together. So as a first step, I think it's a good idea just to find these people that you want to dress like and honestly just copy or emulate the style that you're seeing. I know that copying kind of has a bad connotation to it, but everybody needs to start somewhere, and copying someone's style is a good way to kind of learn the basics. And then later on, as you put more time into it and put more research in, you'll start to add your own interest into it, add your own types of flair, and eventually develop your own sense of personal style. So where do you find these style inspirations? Well, lucky for you guys, there are literally thousands of people online on Instagram and TikTok just begging for people to check out what they're wearing. So once you find someone online that you like the way they're dressed, go ahead and give them a follow. Take notes of exactly what part of their style that you like and what key pieces you could buy to kind of emulate the same style. I personally have a lot of people that I follow on Instagram for inspiration, and even though I don't exactly copy what they wear, I do get a lot of good ideas that I'm able to work into my own style. The problem with using the internet is that there is a lot of bullshit to shift through. A lot of people tend to dress the same or just follow trends that's gonna best help them when it comes to the algorithm. So when you find someone that really speaks to what you find is interesting and that you really like, make sure you follow them and use them instead of just looking at the internet kind of as a whole. Another kind of old school inspiration you could pull from are celebrities. Now, celebrities are great because they often work with a stylist who is the actual person that you want to pull their ideas and inspiration from, that is using the celebrity as kind of a canvas for their ideas. I also have a bunch of celebrities that I looked up to, especially when I was younger. Very popular ones for people my age was definitely Kanye West, A$AP Rocky, and Kid Cudi. And even though I don't really look to them now for how to dress, that inspiration that I got from years ago, I would say still shows up in my outfits today, and it's not really something you can really stop. And the last way I find my style cues, and honestly probably my favorite way, is just to look at people in the street in real life. Now, I know this seems really obvious, but I feel like, especially in today's world, it's rare to go out in a place where people are really dressing and really trying to put everything together. It's the reason why places like New York, Japan, or Korea, or really any place with good public transportation, why people there are known to dress better on average. And that's because the everyday person is exposed to many more aesthetics or ideas, and subconsciously that helps them develop their own idea of how they want to dress and present themselves to the world. But I think that's enough talking for the first tip. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, so the second tip that I have is something that a lot of fashion YouTubers have talked about before, and that's for good reason, and that is to get your measurements. Getting your measurements is the key to knowing exactly how an item will fit you and to be never surprised when you get clothes through the mail. Most online retailers will have some sort of measurements online, so when you are shopping, it's just as simple as matching your own personal measurements to those on the website and then determining what size will work best for you. So how do you find your measurements? For any kind of bottoms, the three main measurements you want to get are the waist, the rise, and the leg opening. Bonus points if you can get the thigh and knee, but in my opinion, it's not really that necessary because most retailers aren't going to have that measurement anyway. To get your waist measurement, all you have to do is find a pair of pants that you feel fit you the best, lay it flat on the floor, and then measure the distance across the top of the waistband and then multiply it by 2. For the rise, you're going to be measuring the distance between the seam of the crotch to the top of the waistband. Now, the rise is very important and often overlooked because this is the measurement that's going to determine if your pants fit high-waisted or low-waisted. A high-rise pant is going to sit higher on the body, so closer up to the belly button, which gives the look of having longer legs, so often shorter people will like a high-rise fitting pant. And a low-rise pant is going to do the opposite, so it's going to sit more near the waist and is often what you see young women wearing nowadays because it's become more into trend, and usually they have like kind of midriff showing when they wear them. Last, for the leg opening, which is very simple, you're just going to measure across the bottom hem of the pants. For tops, the two main measurements you're going to want to get are the pit to pit, or the chest measurement, and the length. These are both pretty simple to get. The pit to pit is just going to be the distance between the two armpits of the garments, and the length is just going to be the measurement from the top of the collar to the end of the hem. Bonus points if you also get the shoulder and sleeve measurements, but once again, most retailers might not have this on their website, so it might not be as helpful. After you have your measurements written down and you're using them to buy your clothes, the next step is to use them as a baseline to figure out how different fits of clothes are going to look on your body. For example, your measurements for your chest could be based on more of a standard fitting garment, but let's say you wanted to try something more boxy or oversized. You would need to be able to kind of visualize how the different measurements will look on your body and if it's something that you actually want to wear. So again, guys, get your measurements. It's probably the easiest tip on this list. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So my next tip is going to be to understand your proportions. You guys may have heard about the rule of thirds and how these proportions are typically the most visually appealing when it comes to things like how you dress, photography, or really any type of art form. For those of you who don't know, the idea is to visually split your outfit into thirds, and this is usually achieved by wearing a shorter or crop top so that your torso makes up the first thirds of the outfit with your bottoms making the remaining 2/3. Or you could flip this and wear something like a very long kind of knee-length coat where the coat itself would be the 2/3 of the outfit with the pants and the shoes being the remaining 1/3. Now this is all good advice and honestly a very good rule to follow, but in my opinion, this really only covers the Western style of dressing. In my opinion, when it comes to things like Japanese or Korean style, or really any kind of Eastern style, you'll see a lot more different use of proportions in a lot of people's outfits. An example of a popular style that doesn't use the rule of thirds is the skating style. So often with skaters, you'll see them wearing a very big oversized top with very baggy jeans, kind of creating a 1/2 or split proportion. And the skating style has got to be one of the more influential styles across fashion, so it doesn't really make sense to me to avoid these type of proportions if you like the look of it or you think it looks good on your body. So ultimately, my advice when it comes to proportions is to know the proportions that you like in relation to the style you're trying to get. That way, the next time you're shopping and you're looking at different pieces, you're more likely to really like and enjoy the pieces you end up getting. So my next tip is going to be a little bit more advanced, and that is to match the tones of the different pieces you're wearing when you're putting an outfit together. Now, there are always exceptions to the rule, but the easiest example I can give is to match the fade or wash of pieces that you're wearing. This is probably best explained visually, so in this outfit, I'm going to be using this red Arc'teryx jacket as the piece to match. It's a very bright and bold red, so the bottoms that I think would look best with it would also have to be a very bold or solid color. Now, when I switch the bottoms to something that's a little more washed or faded out, even though it doesn't look completely bad, you can see that there's a disconnect to the outfit, and visually, I feel like it doesn't flow as well. The same can also be done in reverse. If I'm wearing a more faded top like this Stussy jacket, I probably want to wear it with something a little more washed out or faded on the bottom to make the look a little more cohesive. And for my last tip, it's another thing that a lot of YouTubers and myself have said before, but that is to accessorize. Whether it be rings, bracelets, necklaces, watches, a bag, or hairpins, or even a tie, any kind of accessory that you add to your outfit will do a lot to enhance it and make it look different than just the everyday. I myself was a little late to getting on the accessory train. I just thought it would be really annoying putting on all the different little trinkets before heading out, but it really started when I got married and started wearing my wedding ring. I would be driving or just using my phone and just see it on my hand, and I thought it actually looked really cool. And after that, I started trying to wear a lot of different types of rings to see which ones I like. And nowadays, I have a whole bunch of accessories that I wear whenever I'm trying to go out. I'd also suggest buying very cheap jewelry at the beginning, maybe from Amazon or Etsy, before investing into really expensive pieces. There's really no reason to jump into the $1,000 chrome hearts rings if you don't even know if you like rings in the first place. I'll probably make a video about my favorite jewelry brands in the future, so keep an eye out for that one. For bags, I typically like to use mine as a pop of color to the outfit. I've shown it before, but I have this bag from the brand Ronin that really adds a bright blue pop of color to any of my outfits, and I definitely like wearing it when I have more of a monochromatic outfit on. And that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it and found it helpful. I still have a bunch of other tips, so I'll probably make a part 2 video sometime in the future. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.